Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of the Mic Drop. Um, for those of you that don't know, September 10th is our National Suicide Prevention Awareness Day. And the um, field that I'm in has been one of the most prominent fields where that has been an issue. And part of the reason I wanted to come on today is just to give you a little bit of truth, obviously, because that's what this is all about. But in particular to this particular topic. And so, welcome to the Mic Drop. First and foremost, I want you to know I'm happy that you're here. My name is Mike. I'm the host of the Mic Drop. And as you can tell from different things and maybe some clear noise even, we have just started to upgrade the technology for podcasting. My supervisor and I have actually started discussing a couple of ideas. We've got a set list already of topics that we're ready to talk about, and we've already started to order the technology. And as you can tell from the headset that I have over me and the Blue Yeti mic that's in front of me, we're taking this seriously. So as you guys are going to hear more mic drop videos as he and I start doing some of our own, hopefully this is something that helps get the message across a little clearer. And there is not a clear message that needs to be given than just how much and how grateful I am that all of you guys are in my life. Some of you guys know, that I've wrestled with this topic, and in my own life, in family, in friends, in kids that I've had, throughout high school. It's something that has never been far from my life. And people tend to stray away from talking about this topic because they're afraid it's going to perpetuate things. Or in the days past, they kind of warned us earlier on in education, don't talk about suicide, because if you start talking about it, everybody's going to start thinking about it, and that's going to cause it to rise. Well, therapists now, and looking at the data experientially that's been since that, the awareness of the pandemic that is suicidal ideation has helped stem the tide of it to a degree. Unfortunately, with everything that's going on in the world right now and everything that's gone on in the past 4 years since COVID, this has been something that's been on the rise across the world. And so that's one of the reasons I wanted to come on and talk about it today. But there's a very particular message that I want to get across from me to all of you. Okay. So kiddos, Malahan's kids, this one's for you. All right. When I was going through the worst of what I was going through, there were times where even I started to contemplate, like, I had these thoughts of, do I really want to live? And it wasn't, do I want to kill myself? It was, everything in my world is going so badly, like everything, that the desire to continue to live just didn't feel very desirable. Okay. I wrestled with that. I wrestled with that a handful of times in my life, actually. And it's been something that over the 10 years that I've graduated over 1,000 children, I've recognized has become, there's a lot more of it out there than people would realize. Okay. So first things first, all of you guys need to know, all you kiddos, you being in my life and listening to these messages and saying, nice things on Facebook, replying to posts that I send out encouraging you guys in your graduation and your success and your promotion, your marriage and your children that you're having. Like, my heart is so filled with joy for all of you that I just pour it all out, on any post that you have that's a celebratory thing in your life. And the responses that I get to the comments that I post have been diamonds for me in a swamp. So it's rare for someone on the other side of the counseling table to, be willing to admit or even discuss that that's something that they have wrestled with. But I'm going to tell you something. Those days are going away, because this is an issue that is facing all of us, and not just in this country. It's all around the world. And I feel personally, and again, this is the mic drop. It's my truth. So if you don't like it, you don't have to listen. But my truth is, the more that people are made aware of it, the more people feel comfortable talking about it, the more that people no longer afraid to hide in a corner and feel like they're the only ones that are wrestling with these thoughts. Like, you guys have been an inspiration to me in more ways than you know. So, as this is kind of a labor of love to reach out to all my kids on, National Suicide Awareness Prevention Day, and tell you that you are one of the strongest reasons that I continue to choose to live. And again, what I mean by that is, there is a point where I could have just retreated from everything and kind of shut down and never really kind of came back to life. People call it hermiting, or you just kind of shut down from the world. And it's one of the, leading symptoms of, depression and anxiety, wanting to shut down from everything else and kind of only deal in your own space. You're trying to look around like, what can I control? Because if I can control nothing happening around me, then I'm good. I can sit in this space, and it can be a very lonely place, and I've talked with a lot of you guys in that lonely place. Sometimes it's been in my office. Sometimes it's been through Facebook Messenger after you guys have graduated and you're wrestling with real life stuff. Like, it hasn't gone away. So if you ever question in your own life, if you're one of my kiddos and you ever have this question in your life, like, is anybody happy that I'm alive? Would anybody miss me if I'm gone? Like, I don't have much of a good poker face when it comes to loving on my children. And you have to know, there will never, ever come a day where, if you have been in my life as one of my kiddos, that I am not thankful every single day of my life for you in it. So that's one. That's one of the biggest things that you guys need to take to the bank. Okay. And this is my truth. I get to say it. You may not believe it. That's completely fine. But it's true to me, and it's what keeps me going some days. Okay. The second thing is this. There are too many people still left in the world that are afraid to talk about this. And it's leading to some of the most isolating topics. And it's leading to people going into some of the smallest spaces where they don't feel like they can talk to anybody about anything. And it is one of the scariest places to ever exist. And so this is the second message that I would send out to all of you who love or care for or invested in someone who is wrestled with suicidal ideation. You have to know a couple of things, okay? One is that it's hard to talk about because it still doesn't feel safe to talk about without fear of judgment. Without fear of you being looked upon like, oh my God, you wrestle with that? Like, how in the, that's so weird. I'm going to tell you right now, from my perspective, which I have no problem sharing. Do you think it's easy being a therapist to say that I've wrestled with those thoughts? Of course not. I mean, it immediately would put your, credibility in, like, oh my God, you wrestle with that? Yeah, we're human. We all wrestle with it. Every therapist I know is talking to a therapist. It's kind of a good habit to have. And going through that darkness myself allows me to be a stronger presence in the darkness of the ones that I love, that don't know what to do, that don't know how to talk about it, that are afraid to ask for help. I feel more comfortable in a dark space that I never was in before because I've lived through it and I've had people help me live through it. So those of you guys that are connected with someone who's wrestling with this, it's like a roller coaster. Some days it's good, some days it's bad. You could think things are great for a week or so and things could be awesome. And then out of nowhere, it hits like a freight train and you're left wondering, like, what's going on? I thought we were past this. Like, how can you still be thinking this, or how can you still be, wrestling with this when we had so much fun over the last week? Like, why would you still dwell on this when you could be happy? Some of the most not hurtful sounding things, but the most misunderstanding, placates. For anybody that's wrestled with this, it's not easy to talk about. It's fearful. But imagine this. Imagine you provided such a loving environment in your family, in your church family, in your work environment, wherever it is that you have people that you're invested in. Imagine having an environment so comfortable and so trusting that if you started thinking about suicide, you could just turn and talk to someone without fear of judgment, without fear of harassment, without fear of retribution or how it's going to affect the business or the status quo. Imagine a world like that. And we probably would not need a day like today because everybody would feel like they have someone they can talk to and not feel like, they have to hide from it. So that's the second message I want to get across, is to someone who has loved thousands of souls that have gone through this, that it's not going to make logical sense for a lot. The best thing you can do a lot of the time is just be there, presence. The most helpful thing I learned after 10 years of counseling was I had a really strong desire to help kids, and I had a really large knowledge base on how to help kids. And sometimes that really helped. But a lot of the times, what helped more was looking at a child in my office wrestling with this and saying, how can I help you the way that you need to be helped? Tell me. And there's just kind of a blank look of, and you're in school, so some of the kids are like, is there a wrong answer to this? Or like, yeah, no, it's not. It is putting yourself aside from saying, here's how I help people, and I know I'm good at it, and I can do it, and here. And instead checking that at the door and going to the person where they're at in their own darkness, just sitting next to them, not even doing anything other than just being there, and then saying at some point, hey, is there any way I can help you? Just let me know. Whatever would help you, help you. That's how I want to help you. And I'm telling you guys, those that love people through this, it's life-changing. Okay? The third thing, and the final thing that I want to promote about this, is the communities that we're all in have a tremendous, they have a tremendous responsibility, and they have a tremendous wealth of connections for going through things like this. Okay, so this is to counteract some more of the people that feel like they're going through this alone. There's groups, there's grief groups, there's trauma groups, there's suicide prevention awareness groups, there's survivors of suicide awareness, there's there's so many helpful services that have come out of this dire need to really go at this topic, that a lot of people don't hear a lot about it. And again, it still falls sometimes under that same stigma. It's like, we don't really want to promote all this too much. We don't really want to say the S word out there all the time and get people thinking about it. It's still hard to market something like that, but kids, but everyone, they're out there. The services are out there. So I would encourage you, if you're a part of a church, if you're a part of a work that has an employee assistance program and they've got like 6 sessions, you can go and talk to someone about kind of how to start going through, that journey. They'll point you in the right direction. I've been through it a couple of times. Your friends, this is the one thing I love the most about my kids. Okay. I'm going to tell you this right now. I have helped so many, but when I see the kids help themselves as young adults now through Facebook, through messages, through inspiration, through acts of love and service, I don't have words. And for all of you that know me, I have words for a lot of things. And I don't have words for that. But I'm so proud of you, like infinitely so. You're choosing, even in your own brokenness, to help others who are broken. And there's nothing more that I ever would have asked you to do in the history of counseling you, ever. So for those of you that are reaching out to those that know and actively taking a role in combating this, major love to you. I know it's not easy. And I know some days you feel like you're never going to win. But every day that you wake up and breathe, you win. Every day. The days that you get up and breathe and you don't want to, and you keep breathing, you win. Even if nothing happens that day. Even if the most that you're able to do is go to the bathroom in between going back and forth to bed, you win. So, tough topic, but the message behind it is, I'm so thankful that you're here, as the title of this, is going to be. But the follow up is, I'm so thankful that you're here in ways that you can't even fathom, in ways that I lack the English to describe, in ways that I wish I could give you my heart for a second to feel how loving it is, to feel that and give it back. Like, that's words. So it's not going to be, much more of, this message doesn't have to be longer than, a typical mic drop video. But I would say this as I'm kind of ending it out there. This is going to be a call to everyone who says they love someone. Every single person. If you say you love someone, okay, if it's genuine, if it comes from a good place in your heart, if you feel that connection towards wanting to care for someone, the agape style of love, reach out. You know who to talk to. You know who you could text right now. You know whose phone you could light up right now. And you're hesitating. It's okay. We all do. It's scary. I get it. It's not a comfortable topic to go into. But reach out anyway. Because just like you guys probably had no idea how much your interactions with each other and your responses to my interactions with you guys in social media have kept me going. Just, you guys had no idea how much of a battery that's been for me. You also have no idea whose battery you are in someone else's life. Or when you need a battery, you would want someone to reach out to you because it's hard to yourself. So it's not a challenge. It's the call of love. Honestly, that's what it is. Everything that comes out of this message and everything that comes out of what I do comes from a place of love. And you guys your souls are so beautiful and so unique and so loving. And the joy of watching you guys grow up and have families and get promotions and have children and move and become your own identity. It's enriching to me. It empowers me to want to go out and continue to create my own identity. You guys help fuel the mic drop. So now you know. Now you know why I am so thankful that you're alive. And there are many more people in your life that are so thankful that you're alive that don't know how to say it. And I, unfortunately, have been kind of the neurodivergent male my whole life and have been speaking more of an emotional language than a logic language. So it's easier for me to get this across, and it's my life. But the people in your life that are wrestling with this, they don't know how to talk about it. It's not easy for them. It's not going to be as comfortable as having a conversation with me, but it still helps. And it's still better than ever feeling like you're alone in this. So I'll leave with that, and I'll say, I'm Mike, your host of the Mic Drop. I love you guys more than anything I can put into words. And I would do anything to make sure that you felt like your life continued to be worth living. So if you need help, reach out. You got all my stuff. It's available. And for all of you guys that are wondering, like, you were my high school counselor, like, can I still talk to you now, like, in life about stuff? Like, I have dozens of kids that reach out to me every single day from the 1,000 graduates that I've had out there. So please send me a message. I'm completely fine. I may not be able to get to it as quickly as you'd like, but I'm not ever not going to respond. Okay? I love you guys. Love each other, especially in a topic like this. We out.